Hey guys, what's up? Look who's here. We're up here in Ohio right now, headed back to RGV for the winter, and it's a little chilly outside, so we decided to do this video indoors because this is something that we've been wanting to do for quite a while. You know, traveling in an RV is fun and it's exciting, and Joanie and I, we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
And over time, we've developed some skills, some habits, separate job descriptions, and we've adopted some certain things that we do all the time that makes traveling pretty much stress-free. So Joanie and I are going to share with you today on what we do to have fun and pretty much have stress-free traveling. Details coming up on RV Street. Okay, let's get right to it. As usual, I'm going to set the table for everything that we're going to talk about. And I'll tell you, we've got a lot to cover today. So, just kidding, just kidding. But we do have a lot to cover. So, traveling together, Joanie and I are a team. It's kind of like car racing. You have the driver, the owner, and the pit crew. And everybody has their own responsibilities that they're supposed to do to make winning possible. And we like winning.
Yeah.
We like winning. We like making our travels and all what we do a win-win situation. So in order for that to happen, there's no one person that carries all the burden or most of the burden of what it takes to travel full-time. Because as you well know, there's a lot that goes into it. We are a team, and we work together as a team. We don't fight. We don't argue. We don't battle to see who's going to be boss. Everything we do, we discuss it first, and then we agree. We come up with, it's like, okay, let's do this, or let's do that. I mean, we're both pretty easygoing, so there's not a lot of battling going on. But if there are options, we'll discuss it first. And another thing, we are not overly critical of each other. We just don't do that. So you may not believe these things, but it's true. I mean, we just don't fight and criticize and it's your fault and all that. We just don't do that kind of stuff. It brings unnecessary stress to what we're doing. So in all honesty, you know, I'm just saying that Joanie and I, we have such a beautiful harmony with each other. I mean, it's really quite amazing. I'm so blessed to be married to her.
Yes, he is.
And I feel very fortunate. Many times I don't even feel like I deserve her. I want to, again, I'm still trying to set the table here. We're going to get to Joanie here in just a second. When we decided that we were going to go full time, we had to sell the house and I had to get rid of my business. She had to quit her job, blah, blah, blah. And as you guys also have gone through this, or if you're planning on full-timing, you're going to be doing these same things. If you guys haven't figured it out already, Martin is a real hands-on guy. And it's easy for me to take charge of things. But when we decided to go full-time, I told her, I said, Joanie, I am not going to do everything if we do this.
And I went, aw, rats.
You know, you're going to have to pull your load. You're going to have to learn some things because I am not going to do a lot of this stuff. When I met Joanie, she had no sense of direction at all. I mean, she could get lost in a grocery store, and I am not exaggerating.
It's been done.
She couldn't read maps. She had very limited knowledge of how to even do stuff online. Email was about the extent of her electronic knowledge. She never had used a GPS before. I told her that, you know, we're going to figure out what you're going to do and what I'm going to do, and you're going to have to learn some things. I just can't handle it. I'll stress out, and you know, I'll just say I can't do this, and we'll quit, and that'll be that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to let Joanie start talking about what her responsibilities are. And the first thing that she's going to discuss is the GPS we use. It's an awesome GPS, and she's going to start there and then kind of go through what her responsibilities have developed into. Joanie, it's all yours, babe.
Oh, fabulous. So, knowing that I could not read a map, I couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag because I'd be lost in it, he puts me in charge of the travel plans, where we're going, how we're getting there. I was like, that's pretty brilliant. So I did have to learn how to use the GPS. I did kind of mostly learn north, south, east, and west, kind of. I have learned how to read maps.
Yep.
But first, what I want to talk about is the GPS. The GPS is fabulous. The one that we have, it allows us to put our height, our weight, our length. Are we carrying propane?
Yep.
Some states do not let you carry propane through tunnels and whatnot. So when I got that done, then I just started playing with that GPS. And I learned different ways of, if I'm looking for a park, because this GPS that we have is an RV GPS.
Yeah.
So it actually has on there RV parks, and it has probably 90% of the parks in the United States in it. But you also can do address and put the address of the park in it. So I am totally in charge of using that GPS. So in addition to the GPS, I also use an online trip planning tool. It's called Trip Wizard. It is the best thing I ever came across because I would be totally lost without this Trip Wizard.
Yeah.
Trip Wizard will show you every park in the United States.
If that's what you want to see.
Right. But it will also show you if you have memberships to a campground, you can just punch in the memberships to different campgrounds that you have, and that's the only parks that will show you. And that's what I tend to plan with because I like to use our memberships. So I look at this and I will plot a route starting, say, in Maine, and I look at this to where our memberships are, and I can plot a route using our campgrounds as stops. And I love that about Trip Wizard.
What Trip Wizard does is it's a subscription-based travel tool, like she said. It's $39.95 a year. Okay, and what she does is you create a username and password and account like everything else, right? And then you just log in to Trip Wizard, and you have to be connected to Wi-Fi to be able to do that.
Yes.
And she'll plan her trip. You can plan multiple trips. You could plan 100 trips if you want. And once you plan them, you save them. You put it. You save them as a name. Once you've planned your trip, now she has that on her tablet. So like when we're driving and I need to know whether there's a rest stop up ahead or where's the next place to get gas or whatever,
I just jump on Trip Wizard, and it will show me rest stops. It will show me gas stations, restaurants. I mean, there are so many things that Trip Wizard will do that it's amazing.
Yeah, and we're not going to give a review on Trip Wizard.
No.
This video is about how we travel stress-free. And one of the ways we do that is using an awesome GPS, and she plans her trips on Trip Wizard. So we already know. We know weeks in advance what our route is, where we're staying, everything. And I mean, it's just, and then she helps me along the way as we're driving.
Again, I would be totally lost without Trip Wizard. It would make my experience of planning miserable. So one of the things that I do is I make all of the reservations. I do the check-ins. When we get to our destination, I go in and check in while Martin detaches the toad. We watch the weather.
Yeah, I watch the weather a lot.
Yeah.
The day before, like if it's a day or two before we're leaving, I'm always watching the weather, because if I see that there's bad weather coming on move day, we immediately will change our reservations. We'll either leave a day or two earlier, day or two later. And most of the time that works. Because again, driving in bad weather brings stress. It brings more danger. You're out there putting up stuff in the rain, and it's just so easy to eliminate all that nonsense. So if it looks like bad weather, I'll tell Joanie, I am not driving on that day. You need to go change reservations.
Yeah, and I'll go in and I'll just change whatever needs to be changed. I mean, it's really quite easy, and it's much better than driving in the rain.
Yeah.
Another one of my responsibilities is when we pull into a campground, before Martin ever even backs into the spot, I go and I check the electric. I make sure that that electric is in working order, because we don't want to get backed in there and find out that the electric is not working.
And if the electric's good, then she'll move the car off the side, and then she backs me in, and then we go ahead and start setting up.
Mm-hmm. One of my other responsibilities is I take care of everything inside. When we're getting ready to close up and move, I put everything away, get everything buttoned down, make sure that we are just ready to go and we don't have stuff falling around.
And she does the same thing when we arrive.
Yes. I also am responsible for taking care of all of our meals, our lunches, dinners, snacks. I take care of all of that.
Because she's the most awesome cook in the world. Now, she doesn't like breakfast. I do. So I usually will take care of my own breakfast, but she takes care of everything else, and I am so glad of that.
You're welcome. I've also become the camera person.
Yeah.
When Martin's out there doing the videos, I have become the camera person. I have learned how to do that just to try to take stress off him. We found that it just goes a whole lot smoother if I'm doing the video.
Yeah, and that is a biggie. When we were doing videos, let's go back like this winter or whatever, I pretty much was doing it all. It was just too much. It was too much. And if you remember, when we gave you that update, remember in April, we celebrated our 1,000 subs. Remember that? That was in April. And here it is, September, and we have 15,000 subs now.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly. I was just going to say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for using our links and giving comments and all that. But you see, we shifted gears there. We realized, we were shooting the wrong content. People didn't want to see us in beautiful islands and running and hiking through mountains and fishing in lakes. And they didn't want to see that. They want to know how to fix stuff. Well, in order for me to be able to do that, I need my hands. And I looked at Joanie and I said, guess what? You got another responsibility.
I got to learn that too. And what an awesome job I'm doing.
Indeed, indeed. So that kind of sums up Joanie's responsibilities as a team member. Let's talk about what I'm responsible for.
Pretty much everything else.
Yeah, pretty much. Not really. So my responsibilities, I'm going to just kind of put them in order here, what I felt would be the best chronological way to address these. So first of all, I do most all the driving. I drive the coach completely. And sometimes if we're going to the store or whatever, Joanie doesn't like to drive the car because we have a manual stick shift car. She can drive it fine, but she would prefer not to. Now, it is in our plans to get her where she is comfortable with the coach. We're going to start easing her into that very slowly.
I think it's scaring Martin more than it's scaring me.
But I'm going to start her off by just driving around in parking lots. And she has driven a couple times already in small areas. But then the next step will be backing in. That kind of freaked her out. Oh, my God, you're going to let me back in?
I can barely back up a car.
But, we're going to take it step by step. And hopefully, in my mind, I'm thinking like in the next year or so, I still will probably do the majority of the driving. But in the event something happens to me, I want her to have confidence that she can get in there and she can get us where we need to be or what have you, right? So that pretty well covers the driving part.
So while Martin's driving, I'm not taking a nap. I'm not reading a book. I'm keeping Martin on track.
Yeah, she
I
does.
watched the GPS. I let Martin know 4 or 5 miles ahead of time, hey, honey, you're going to be taking an exit on the left.
So I have plenty of time to watch traffic and get over where I need to be instead of having to make a split-second decision.
Yeah, and a lot of times, you know, if you're in a lot of traffic, it's not that easy to get a big old bus, you know, over 3 lines of traffic.
Right.
So it's just easier on him if he has a real big heads up on it.
Another one of my responsibilities is watching the weather and alerts as we get closer to move day. That's what we call it. We call it move day. And as I just said earlier, I don't like driving in the rain. I don't like riding in storms or high winds, you know, these kinds of things. And so when we get as we're approaching move day, I'm looking at that, and if it don't look good to me, I just tell her, honey, you need to change reservations. That alone removes a whole lot of stress, driving in good conditions. And it's a lot safer, too. And of course, as you all know, this is not going to come to any surprise to you, but I take care of all the issues that come up within the coach and outside the coach, and all the maintenance, and just stuff like that. This is a perfect place to bring in another important point. I think I've mentioned it to you guys in previous videos about how to stay organized. You know, it's amazing. You would think with a RV that's only got 320 square feet or whatever, you think you'd know where everything is. No.
No.
You have to stay organized. And I'll tell you, I'm really anal about this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so is she. I mean, we're both very organized. When we use something, we put it back. And everything has its place. I can go into my tool bay, or I actually can go into any bay, and I can get what I need blindfolded. There's nothing more stressful to me than going on the hunt for something. Oh my God. I just... You know, when something is not where it's supposed to be, and now I'm on the hunt for it, you don't want to be around me. It doesn't get that bad, but I hate that. So I'm very anal about keeping everything compartmentalized, and I know exactly where it is. That relieves a lot of stress. But for those of you who are maybe just starting out or thinking of full timing, it takes about a year to get your coach or your RV, whatever you've got, to get it tweaked to where things fit, you know exactly where stuff is, you're maximizing room, your weight, all those things. So don't get frustrated, you know, if it doesn't happen right off the bat, because it's not going to happen right off the bat.
No.
It's going to take time to really get that sucker nice and tweaked and easy to maneuver around. Another responsibility I have is I take care of everything outside, whether we are arriving or breaking down and getting ready to depart. Okay, so Joanie, she's taking care of everything inside. I take care of everything outside. Another one of my responsibilities is I do all the planning and the editing of our videos and everything that it takes to maintain our YouTube channel, which is quite a bit. But that's one of my strong points. I'm very versed in that area. Doing electronics things online and all that. I mean, that's very common. It's in my wheelhouse. So and it's not in hers.
Oh, not at all.
You know, so there's no sense in trying to teach her that. She doesn't need to know that.
I don't want to know that.
You don't. But you know, so that's another one of my responsibilities. Now, as you know, if you're married, it's usually always best for one person to take care of finances, because finances can always be a point of a problem. It's never been a problem with us in the past, but once we went full time, we had to decide how we were going to take care of our finances. Okay, who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to renew the insurance? Who's going to do this? Well, you know what? It's just best that one person take care of all that. Now, Joanie knows how to do that, but I've been the designated person to take care of all the bills. So there's no, you know, it's not like, well, I thought you renewed that. Well, no, I thought you did. No, it's me. So I put on my calendar every month, I put down there all what I have to do each month. And then on our renewal dates, like insurance policies and our escapee membership and all those important things. I don't wait for an alert with an email reminding me, hey, Martin, your renewal's coming up. Because you know what? If that email doesn't work, So I put on my calendar a whole year ahead on those dates on when I have to do X, Y, Z. So I'm responsible for the finances.
And you know, I thought it was really, really nice of me to allow him this honor of paying bills.
Exactly. And I do feel honored. Another thing that I'm totally in charge of and responsible for is meat.
Well, alrighty.
I do all the barbecuing, which is a lot. Now, I would say 50-50. When Joanie, like I said, she's in charge of all the meals, lunches, dinners, and snack. I take care of my own breakfast. But if we're going to have something that is going to be barbecued, it's my kitchen, it's my way.
Indeed.
So I take care of all the barbecuing. Another thing that I do is I don't let things go. What do I mean by that? I do not have a list of things. Okay, I got to do this, and that's broken, and I got to make sure I do that. But when things break, they got to get fixed right now. Because, again, trying to reduce stress, I do not want to be on the road, and then all of a sudden, that thing breaks that I've been putting off for 3 weeks. No, that is not going to happen. Now, something may break, on the way or when we arrive or what have you. You can't prevent that. But if I know that it's broken or I know it needs to be tended to, it gets tended to right now. I don't want any surprises that I could have prevented. Okay, so we've covered what she's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And she does a darn good job about it. We talked about what I'm supposed to do. So let's talk about what we do together. And I'm going to start off with the biggie first, because this is one thing that we do together that removes a ton of stress. And that is, we always break down 90% of what we have to do the day before move day.
Absolutely.
Okay, we do not wake up on move day and start putting away chairs and folding up no.
And I will say, at one point in time when we first started doing this, we would get up move day and start going through this, and we would get out of these campgrounds late.
Yeah.
Which put us at our destination late.
Yeah. So by default now, if we are leaving, if move day is Wednesday, Tuesday is get ready day. So I am out there doing everything outside. I'm disconnecting the water. I'm disconnecting our water softener. We're putting the chairs in the toad. We're doing everything. And we're running off of our fresh water tank. We're doing all of our dishes. We are just literally everything that you do is the same thing that we do, only we do it the day before. And when we wake up in the morning on move day, we've got 3 things to do. Number 1, we bring in the slides. Number 2, we raise the jacks. Number 3, we disconnect electric, and we're out of here.
Well, and number 4, we connect the toad.
And and that brings me to the next point. Good.
Ah.
Another thing that we do together is we connect the toad together. She gets on one side of we have a Ready Brute Elite tow bar. I'll pull the motorhome out. She'll pull the toad up to the tow bar. She'll get out on one side of the tow bar. I'll get out on the other, and we work it as a team. I'll show you a quick little clip right here. This is a time lapse, but this kind of shows you how we do this. Now, this whole process in real time, at the very most, takes about 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's really easy to do.
I mean, this system that we have here, and of course, our repetitiveness of doing this, it just makes it boom, boom, boom. And then once we get everything hooked up, Joanie will go to the very back of the car. I'll go in the front of the motorhome, and I'll do all our light tests, blinkers, and so forth. She gives me a thumbs up in the mirror. We're good to go, and off we go. And by doing that the day before, breaking all that stuff down, we usually can get out of a park 7:30, depending on how far we're going. 8 o'clock tops.
Yeah.
And that way we arrive at our park or wherever we're going, usually around 1.
It's typically when I plan, I usually plan 300 to 400 miles, 400 being on the high side.
Yeah.
So this puts us in our parks, like 2 o'clock, get everything set up, which typically takes us about 45 minutes.
Yep.
He does the outside, I do the inside. 45 minutes later, we're sitting out there with a cocktail. Another thing we do is we always double check each other.
Yes.
When I'm done in here and Martin's done out there, we switch places, we go around, we just double check the other person's work.
When we first started, we had a checklist.
Yeah.
We made a checklist, we printed it out. We had 2 of them. And they were literally titled Joanie's checklist, Martin's checklist. Yeah. And we would put it right here, and it had boxes. And we'd go through each one and check it off and make sure. Well, we're going on 4 years now. It's rote. It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
But we still check each other just to be sure. And there's been several times where Joanie will come out and check, and she'll come out and say, Martin, I turned off the propane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, God, I forgot to turn off the propane.
It's just little things
it's
like that.
It's just little things, yeah.
It's just always just best to check each other.
Yeah, so we double check each other.
Another thing that we always do together is laundry.
Yep.
We do not have laundry facilities on board. We do not have a washer and dryer, so we use the campground washer and dryers. And we always do it together. It makes it quick. It makes it easy.
Yep. And doing laundry in a campground, in a laundry facility, I mean, there's a lot of people that say they don't like that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's fine, I guess. For Joanie and I, it is just no big deal.
Yeah, we don't care.
We put our stuff in the hamper, we throw it in the back of the car, we go there and we go boom, 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 4 loads or whatever it is, and put them in the dryer. We're done in 3 hours.
3 hours. Heck, we're done in about an hour and a half.
Well, whatever it is. And now we're good for about 2 months.
I wish.
I mean, it just depends on how often you take a shower and change your clothes, I mean, this is camping, right?
Yeah.
You got to get a little woodsy.
No, we don't need to do Nasty 101, Martin. It's good.
Next thing we do together, and we love doing this, don't we, honey? We go shopping together.
I love grocery shopping. It's one of those weird things that people, when I say that, they look at me and go, what the hell is the matter with you? But I do love grocery shopping. But
before we go shopping, we make sure we have a full list. Because as we've said in other videos, man, some of these places where we've been, it's a 45-minute drive to a store or a Walmart or something. I mean, you get out in these rural areas. We went to one the other day. I don't even remember where it was. But we left about 9:30 in the morning. We got back at 1:30. And we're putting away groceries and we're all done. And I looked at my watch and I said, Joanie, look at this. It's almost 1:45. And all we did was go shopping.
Yeah.
So the point is, we always, whenever we need something, if we're cooking or whatever, we have a list that we keep right over here on the table with a pencil. So if anything comes up that we need it, we write it on the list. And then we check it before we go to the grocery store, and we get everything we need. But that removes stress. You go to the store and you come back with what you need. That also makes the whole process less stressful. Another thing that we're doing to keep stress down, I don't know how about you guys, but you have places where you go all, oh, we've been here before. Oh, I remember 2 years ago we were over here. But you forgot where that gas station was, or you forgot where that favorite restaurant was, or you forgot where that winery was. And so now you have to do this all over again. So what we're doing now is we're keeping records. When we find really good spots to get gas, or a really good grocery store, or a POI, any of those things. Mm-hmm. Joanie, we didn't say that.
Oh yeah, that's my job too.
She keeps a little notebook right on the side of her chair, and I'll say, Joanie, make a note of that, and so we'll put down the location, what mile marker that was at, blah, blah, blah. And man, that is just so helpful.
We also kind of keep records on the campgrounds itself. Do you get
Yes.
TV? Does it have good Wi-Fi? Can you get propane?
Yes. Yeah, we actually have a binder.
Yeah.
So every time we go into and check in, you know how they give you your reservations and your brochure and all that? Well, after we stayed there, we'll go back and make a note. Yeah, Wi-Fi okay. Had free cable. Great pool. Whatever. We'll make our own little notes in there. So when we come back next year or whatever, we can quickly glance and say, oh, okay, yeah, we don't really want to stay over here. That was really muddy. Let's try to get a spot over here.
And another thing doing that, when I am making the trip, when I'm planning the trip, and I'll go, oh, we stayed here before. Did we like that park?
Yeah.
I can pull out that binder and go, you know, it was okay. Or we really loved it, but, you know, the Wi-Fi was crap. Or, you know, whatever.
Right.
It's really helpful for me for that also.
And I would say probably the last and the best thing that we do together.
We can't discuss that on a video.
Joanie, it's okay. These are adults.
Are you sure? I mean, I'm sure they're adults.
Well, I mean, but, you know, it's not like something they haven't done before.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Is when we get to our destination, we have a nice cold cocktail.
Yeah.
We go dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
So we don't want to give you the impression that nothing ever goes wrong.
Oh, because it does.
Yeah. These kinds of habits, like that pit crew and that race team, when, you know, they have a routine. When that car pulls in that pit, everybody has their designated job. Nobody is more important than the other. If everybody performs their job, you have a chance, a good chance, of having a winning team.
Aw.
And Joanie and I mean, I see us as a winning team. We work good together. And that's what we're just trying to explain. And what we do in the pits to get along and to make these trips happen and happen as stress-free as possible. Mm-hmm. It's just not going to happen the way you want it to happen all the time. Now, a lot of times it does. A lot of times it doesn't. But doing these things that we have developed, you know, find out your own way to eliminate stress. So all what we're trying to do here is just express what we have done to eliminate those common things that can bring stress to a family, to a trip, and especially in an RV. This is what really, really works for us. If any of you are new to our channel, go to our main YouTube channel page and click Playlists. Then on that page, click RV Motorhome Upgrades, Maintenance, and DIY How-Tos. There's a wealth of information there on what we do to keep our coach in top working order. And there's a lot of great tips in there that'll help you get prepared before you get on the road. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to ring the bell off to the right. Ding. And you'll be notified the next time we upload our next video. These videos are free, guys. We both want to just thank you guys so much for watching our channel, using our links that we give you. I mean, I just cannot tell you, as a retired couple and taking the time to do these videos, and you actually are using our links to purchase gear and stuff like that. Joanie and I are just so grateful, and we really want you to know that. So as always, in this video, we will put a few links in the description area. If you look underneath the video, you'll see Show More. Click that, scroll down, and we'll put the links down in there. If you are on a tablet or a smartphone, you'll probably have a little arrow off to the right side underneath the video. If you click that, scroll down, they'll be there. So if you liked this video...
Of course they liked this video,
well,
Martin.
I mean, I hope so. But prove it to us. Let me know, let Joanie know that you liked it by bing and hitting that like button. And we would like to hear and share with everybody else that watches this channel what you do to remove stress from your traveling in your RV. You know, we all have our own ideas. We all have our own plans and developed habits and skill sets. We can all benefit from that, but nobody will know unless you share.
Absolutely.
So, you know, so it'd be really cool if you'd give us some comments. So that's pretty much it, folks. This is how we travel in our RV stress-free. Now go kiss and make up. And work like a team. So that's it for now, guys. Until next time, this is RV Street. Stick around.